Well, good evening, NTA Nation. Good evening, Bahamas. We are extremely excited to be back on for another episode of NTA Exclusive. And I have the honor and privilege to be on with my co host in the person of Miss Ty Rule, who is going to introduce herself in a little bit. But I just want to thank her for taking the time out of her busy schedule to co host with me. She is one of the best here at NTA. And I really have an even more extreme pleasure to be on with some wonderful people from the nation's second city. I know they don't like to be called the second city. They're the other city, So we're on with our NTA manager, Mr. Kenneth Miller, and along with some other beautiful young ladies who are going to be introducing themselves. But I hope all of you are well. How you all doing today?
Awesome.
Well, thanks.
We're doing great.
Very good.
Wonderful.
Very good. All right, so Ms. Rule, go ahead and introduce yourself and let them know your role here today.
Well, my role is first, my name is Ty Role, and as my title says, I am the administrative coordinator and board secretary of NTA Nassau. Nassau is the capital, but Grand Bahama, you are welcome.
Awesome. You can go ahead and introduce yourself. Everybody else, just one by one, introduce yourself.
Good day. My name is Sherelle Lockhart. I served as a facilitator for the NTA Mandatory Workforce Prep Program here in Grand Bahama.
Awesome.
Hi, good afternoon. Good day. I am Tiara Williams. I'm a part of Cohort 16.
Hi, good day. My name is Kobe Rule, and I'm part of Cohort 16 as well.
A pleasant good evening, NTA Nation. Kenneth A. Miller, manager for Grand Bahama office.
Awesome, awesome. So glad to have all of you on, and I'm once again thanking you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on NTA Exclusive today. For those of you who are watching this show right now on YouTube or Facebook, please begin to share this link with your family and friends. We want to get this viewership up to date. So just before we go into the show, we're going to pause just for a brief commercial break, and then we will begin with our line of questioning. Again, please begin to share this link with your family and friends. We'll be back in a few moments.
Do you long for an unwavering sense of purpose and conviction? Repositioned, Here to Air by Agatha K. Marcel dispels the myth that to be successful, one must maintain a separate personal and professional life. Learn how childhood interests are strong indicators of the path you will take and how your fundamental principles and morals will stay with you even through life's detours. Your purpose comes from God, and the closer you get to Him, the clearer your purpose will become. Available at Amazon, your local bookstore, or at trilogy.tv.
Thank you so much for that commercial break. And we are back. If you're just joining us, we're back again here for another episode of NTA Exclusive. And I'm on with the team from Grand Bahama, as well as my beautiful co-host in the person of Miss Ty Rule. And without further ado, we're going to go into this time of question and answer. And I want to pose this question to our manager over there in Grand Bahama, Mr. Miller. Tell us a little bit about Mr. Miller and what brought you to the National Training Agency.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Cunningham. And once again, good afternoon, or rather, good evening to our persons in NTA Nation. To whatever time you'll be watching this, I will challenge you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and to our Facebook page. Mr. Cunningham, in three simple words, persons will know me as either the apostle, the author, or the administrator. And in this regard, if I were to really share, God led me to NTA. It was simply a time of serving youth in over a 15-year career in youth development and leadership. And I sat down and said, Father, I know that my dispensation is coming to an end in my former capacity as a youth officer. And I asked, well, where do you want me to go next? Where do you want me to carry this ministry that has been in my heart for young people? And he called NTA's name out plainly. And the rest is history. So I'm excited. It's been 1 month and a week since I've been here to NTA, and I'm really excited for what is about to transpire next.
That is awesome, definitely awesome. And I've had the privilege of looking at your extensive resume, Mr. Miller. So I pose this question to you. What do you believe that NTA sets NTA apart from different training institutions?
Thank you so much, Ms. Roll. The reality is that the National Training Agency's focus group are those young people that need a second chance. That's what sets us apart. We're not trying to reach just anybody, but we have a particular care and compassion that drives our resources, our programs, and our initiatives to impact those who are here. And I could tell you one thing for sure, just sitting in the seat and being a part of all of the fanfare and the movements here in Grand Bahama, the next thing that sets the National Training Agency apart from other training initiatives is the content and its focus. Our content is geared towards workforce preparation. We're not just trying to make you an employee. We want to present you as an excellent employable candidate, one that once you come on the job, they will see you as excellence personified, and they're able to tap into your expertise. That's what sets us apart. So as we continue to peruse the channels of the agency, there's more that we have to offer to come.
Oh, wow.
Listen, that's some awesome information. And I can already see some people chiming in on Facebook and YouTube, Ms. Roll. And I know a lot of persons in Grand Bahama who may not know about NTA. They probably are asking the question, how long does this training last? And how can they register? How can they become a part of NTA today?
To those tuning in live, to come and be a part of the mandatory workforce preparatory program, you only have to do one simple thing: reach out. Go right now to ntabahamas.org. Go on to the Grand Bahama section, click that link and register. We have a criteria: 16 to 30 years old. You have to be out of school, unemployed, little to no work experience, little to no BJCs, BGCSEs, and never been in college before. Because the kind of young people we want to reach are those that did not have opportunities like everybody else, or had found themselves in some tight spots and some challenging times. So once you have met the criteria and you have registered and you come to the office and meet us, man, we family. We're going to make this journey exciting. And I believe the trainees who are going to come on, they can speak for themselves. I don't have to put on a show. They're going to come and reveal to you how much excitement that we have on a daily basis. So as you register and you come onto the program, you will find that there's more to NTA than meets the eye. We are the best kept secret in the Bahamas, and we are secret no more. Make sure you go to the website, ntabahamas.org, and register now.
All right, Mr. Miller. All right, I'm excited. So how long is this whole training process? And what advantage do I would have as a successful trainee? What are some of the advantages for completing the course at NTA?
The preparatory program that I mentioned earlier is basically a 14 to 16 week initiative. And the reason why I say 14 to 16 week, it depends on your internship portion. So the first 4 weeks, everybody is together in one room and filled with camaraderie to do soft skills training. So for 3.5 days, we carry you through some training with leading industry experts, persons who could come and tell you the real, raw, and reasonable truth on the workplace. And they sharpen you and tool you for when you get into that environment. And then you go into a training program with one of our training providers for 10 weeks. And this is one of the advantages. All of our training providers are NACOB approved. What does that mean? When you go on the job, your certificate is recognized from a legitimate, recognized institution by the Bahamas government and the body that is responsible for vetting education. So your certificate means something. Your certificate is substantial and has substance. And we don't stop there. That's why I say we have more to NTA than meets the eye. We have the globally recognized City and Guilds certification, which gives you that qualification that you need, that when you step on the job in Barbuda, in Barbados, in the United States, in Uganda, in Africa, in Europe, this certification is globally recognized. So our trainees could step in the hotel, in the Marriott in the US and work, just as they work at Paradise Island or Grand Bahama. So you are set apart by the various qualifications that you gain throughout the program. And not to boot, the partnerships that we form are lifelong partnerships. Strategic internship placement puts you in environments with partners that believe in you, that mold you, and that empower you. And those are the advantages of being NTA trained and certified.
Awesome. Listen, he got me so excited. I'm ready to move to Grand Bahama. I telling you, man, I'm really, really excited. And it's so good to see your excitement and to feel your excitement. I know you would have just started with the National Training Agency, but Ms. Rule, I don't know if you've been following the NTA Grand Bahama Facebook page, but listen, that thing has come alive. Every day they are posting, and I can't wait to see what they posting tomorrow, because they always posting something, and I could feel the excitement, which brings me to my next question. Mr. Miller, tell me about some of the training opportunities that are available in Grand Bahama. I know that there is some new training that might be coming on stream in the next couple of months, but tell me about right now, what are some of the training opportunities available?
Well, Mr. Cunningham, you asked $1 million question today. In our next cohort, which is scheduled for August, September time, is cohort 17. This will be a dynamic cohort where we offer, for the first time in Grand Bahama, with our first ever NTA certified City and Guilds training provider. And that is going to be revealed later in May, that person. We are going to have food and beverage, City and Guilds certification style. We're going to have housekeeping, City and Guilds certification style. And we are working with BTVI to see how we could get some construction technology points on once we have finished our internal vetting and approval, so that Grand Bahamians will not only be NTA trained, but they will be ready for celebration keys, construction and opening, the sale of the Grand Bahama Hotel and its acquisition to be ready to enter into the hotel industry, and other multi-million-dollar initiatives that are being done currently by the Bahamas government. So that is something to stay tuned to. And also, NTA does not only train young people. That's why I say it again, we have a lot more than we revealed at this particular time. For the first time in Grand Bahama, we are seeking in the month of September to have the Institute of Leadership and Management, a cohort that will focus on the Grand Bahamian persons across the island. So if you're a working adult and you're saying, I'm ready to go to a supervisory level, a managerial level, and I need some training, NTA is here for you. And that is also City and Guild certified. So what are you saying to me, Mr. Miller? Let me let you in on the secret. When you go through ILM, the qualifications from that body has some equivalence in the public service. So you're not just trained to be beautiful and pleasant and powerful. That equates to financial dividends in the long run. So you're being trained to reign. So you could stay tuned and look on our website for that as well. NTABahamas.org is your next stop on your journey.
You know something? Let me call my boss. I think I need to transfer to Grand Bahama because this some good stuff. Anyway, Lord, I know he watching, but anyhow, go ahead, Miss Rule.
I'm extremely excited to know that we have extended the disciplines in Grand Bahama. So that right there in itself is such a positive thing. And you mentioned earlier about lifelong partnerships. Can you tell me some of the employers that, we would have partnered with for the National Training Agency in Grand Bahama?
Well, one of the things that I can mention now, because our conversations are in extensive talks, as we could say for sure. We are conversating now with the Ministry of Education. We have paid a courtesy call there, and the Ministry for Grand Bahama, who is currently partnering with us to host the soft skills by allowing us to use the Collab Center. We're also in conversations with the Grand Bahama Port Authority to see how we could best empower Grand Bahamians. So, Ms. Roll, I will say to the live audience tonight to stay tuned. We are working on particular initiatives and partnerships, and we don't want to let too much things out the bag too soon. We have some things hidden for them. So just to let you know that as you travel, like and subscribe to the page, National Training Agency, Grand Bahama. We post our page lively, and I don't want to do copyright infringement. You know where I head with
that. Listen, you all got me so excited. I'm telling you, and I'm so happy for Grand Bahama. Miss Roll, for those of you that don't know, Grand Bahama was our second office that was opened in the National Training Agency. I think it might have happened sometime in 2014. I don't know the exact year, but I believe. And I can tell you the level of excitement that I'm feeling right now, it reminds me of the early days when we first went down to Grand Bahama, when they cut the ribbon. I mean, there were so many young people who were hungry for what the National Training Agency had to offer. And I'm so happy to see that excitement coming back. And I congratulate you and your team, Mr. Miller. We are now going to go to another commercial break. And after that, we are going to be back speaking with our facilitator in the person of Miss Sherelle Lockhart. We didn't forget about you, Miss Lockhart. So right after this commercial break, we'll be back with her.
Are you interested in learning about child development? Or maybe you want to learn how to conduct first-line screening? How about gaining more knowledge on the use of technology as an educational management tool? If that's you, register with NTA and begin your journey to getting certified as a teacher's aide. There is a huge demand for trained persons to assist teachers in regular, inclusive, and special education classrooms. You can register by visiting us on Gladstone Road and Munnings Drive, or you can register online at www.ntabahamas.org. For more information, please call 461-6000. Don't delay. Register with NTA today.
Thank you once again for joining us. If you are just joining us, we are here with another episode of NTA Exclusive, and we are on with Mr. Kenneth Miller, Miss Sherelle Lockhart, and the rest of the team from Grand Bahama. I'm also joined by my co-host in the person of Miss Ty Rule. And we're having an exciting conversation today talking about what is going on in the island of Grand Bahama. And I can tell you, I ready to try to call my boss because I ready to transfer to Grand Bahama because listen to me, they got some exciting things going on over there. You know, I think the capital will be soon going to get jealous. I know what you say, Ms. Rule.
I totally agree with that.
Yes.
We might have to tell. I'm not going to call any names. You might have to tell them finish that song.
I'm telling you. But we are also joined today by Miss Sherelle Lockhart, who is one of our facilitators. I'm understanding that she would have assisted during the mandatory workforce prep that is going on in Grand Bahama. And we just wanted to get some information from you. Ms. Lockhart, how are you today, first of all?
Good day. I'm well, thanks. And yourself?
I am wonderful. Just waiting for my next trip to Grand Bahama. But I good, you know.
Come on down. We're ready to have you. Come on down.
Yes. But what I want to ask you, what made you interested in becoming a part of what we are doing at NTA in Grand Bahama?
Well, definitely. I am an individual who believes in Grand Bahamians. And I am so happy to be a part of NTA serving as a facilitator. I believe that the time is now to get our young people, those between the ages of 16 to 30, properly trained, and doing that through NTA to make them employable and marketable, be valued contributors to the workforce in Grand Bahama. And the only way to do that is to buy into and support the vision of NTA.
Okay. All right. So we know that NTA we have a few modules that we implement, and they must be implemented. You cannot go through the process without doing the soft skills modules. So tell me, which one did you facilitate and how did you find it receptible? Was it receptible?
Yes, the trainees were receptive. I served as the facilitator for the Workplace Values and Practices Skills Program. And during my session, I was able to engage 30 young women between the ages of 16 to 30 in that session. During that session, they had the opportunity to learn about workplace values and practices, and that their own individual principles, beliefs, and other systems can sometimes cross over or correlate with what they do in the professional environment. And in order for them to be properly prepared for the workforce and for the environment, you need to know how to conduct yourself. What is expected from you once you are in the workforce and on a job? Oftentimes, I've heard over the years Miss Agatha Marcel say that having a job is not a right, it is a privilege. It is something that you have to earn and you have to work toward. And definitely by them having this type of training, it helps them to not only conduct themselves in the professional environment, but as I said earlier, you find some of those values, practices, and principles that cross over into their personal life as well. And it better prepares them to take on certain challenges that they may meet, not only in the workforce, but in their personal environment, and be able to strike a balance so that they can be the best producers of what is needed for that particular area in which they are employed and possibly become an employer.
Okay. So you did, my next question would have been, about the mandatory workforce prep training and how important it is. And I think you hit that, the crossover between personal and professional. And we do have to remember that NTA is preparing you for the workforce. And let me add something in the front of that. Entry level workforce. So we give you an inch and you take an L.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
And that's one of the things that we really do need to stress out there. Jobs are not guaranteed.
No.
Okay. We can only help you to try and get through the process to get a job. But we also have to remember that entry level is also considered minimum wage. So you have to start somewhere to go somewhere. So don't think that after your 14 to 16 weeks of training that you're just going to go get this top CEO position. It doesn't work like that. You have to start somewhere. And we want to welcome you to come on down. Well, this Mr. Miller Pop, but I can try it out for him. Welcome you to come on down to Grand Bahama. Come in the office, go online, register to be a part of the cohort. But you have to be realistic that we are training you to get somewhere.
Yes.
We're going to give you a little piece of something, and you got to take that piece of something and make something greater. Okay? So please come get the training, and it's up to you afterwards. With our help, of course, because we'll still be there to, put fire underneath you. We'll still be there for you. But you got to come in and get the certified training nationally and internationally.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Roll. And this mandatory workforce prep program, not only in Grand Bahama, but in general, I believe it's something that the Bahamas desperately, desperately needs. And I'm sure that there are ways that we are looking to even implement it in other circles, because you have some people who have been on jobs for years, Ms. Roll, and they don't have the skills, the things that we go through in mandatory workforce prep. Some of them don't have a clue. They may have the paper, they may have the degree, but they don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to deal with their co-workers. They don't even know how to deal with themselves, much less anybody else. So I'm so grateful that these young people are taking advantage of this training. And I want to ask Ms. Lockhart, have you been able to see a difference in any of the trainees so far after your session, in talking to them? Have you been able to see any difference at all?
Definitely. I have been able to see a difference in the trainees during my session. Initially, when the session started out, persons had no idea what workplace values and practices were and how it is intricately involved in our culture. I would have spoken to them about the fact that we have a Bahamian artist, KB, who has highlighted songs about the culture in the workplace, the policies and the practices. And oftentimes you hear the negative side about it. Polling the trainees in the room, you would have heard that, well, you get bad service or it isn't good. And by being in that training, they were able to see how they play a vital role as the persons who are going to be employed. If you want to change from what you've seen, you have to begin being that change. And so they would have learned, you hear the song that you have civil servants who give you that job, my MP, what time you get off, anytime, what time is it now? And that seems to be commonplace, or it's a commonplace culture for us. But if we are properly training the next generation of employees, the next persons to go into the workforce, to be dissuaded from engaging in that type of practice, from creating that culture and allowing it to be made manifest, and do it the right way, then we won't have the problems where we complain about poor service, whether that is in the public sector or the private sector. And we won't have to have this stigma attached to persons in the workforce as it relates to service areas or any other areas in the workforce. And so by the time I was through with my session, they had a totally different outlook, and they understood that they are now going into the environment, and in some cases that is the environment that they may happen to go into where the culture is that you're lax, you're slack. But you have the opportunity to influence change, to influence how you move and cause others to emulate you. So once you do it the right way and you remain consistent, understanding again that being employed is not a right, but a privilege, then you will be able to change the status quo, to improve the level of service given, and to be seen not necessarily on some big, large plateau, but by the customers you serve. And that's the external customers that come in and the customers that are internal, those who you are employed with, your colleagues, because they're customers as well. You would have to do something to help facilitate something that they need to get done and vice versa. And once the trainees were able to see that, in particular, Ms. Tiara, once she was able to see that and talk and have discussions and bring up scenarios with her fellow trainees, they understood the importance of it and why we need to change the dynamic and become better persons going into the workforce to make a change. So I definitely saw that through my session that they were able to change, and or at least have the mindset that they have to go in there to make the change, to be the difference. And all of the sessions that they had before, each one worked with the next to bring them up to the place that they were when they were with me. And then, like Ms. Rowe would have said, you hand the baton on for someone else, the next facilitator, to take the next leg of the race and for them to go forward with it. So definitely there was a change.
Oh, wow. Who you working for? The government, them. Now, listen, cultural change, okay? Cultural change, that mindset, that shift. Like Ms. Lockhart would have said, take all of the good things that we're training you. And even though lax, you may get on a job that's lax, don't settle for lax. Okay? Always be the change. Be the change. Go in there and shift, change everything. You have to. Because honestly, we don't have a good cultural, oh gosh, our name out there, especially working for government. It's not good at all. It ain't good. But everybody want to come work for government. I wonder why is that. But no, we ain't trying to let you be slack. Not at all.
That's another conversation for another day, the government them. But we are so grateful. Thank you for that information you shared with us, Ms. Lockhart. And I could tell you, just listening to you speak today on live, I could just imagine the experience that the trainees would have had. And I was about to go to another break, but I think I'm going to go straight into talking to some of our trainees, Ms. Roll, because I want to hear from them. I want to know what they got from this session, because with people like Ms. Lockhart and Mr. Miller, there's no reason why they should walk out of those sessions without gaining some knowledge that would change their lives and put them in a more employable position. So I'm going to start with you, Tiara. I want you to tell me, how did you hear about NTA?
Good evening, everyone. I heard through Facebook. I've seen the advertisements, and that's how I heard about NTA.
And what about you, Kobe?
I have heard on social media as well. Someone recommended it to me, and I just look it up on Facebook. I say, let me just give it a shot.
So both of you would say that social media for persons in your age demographic or otherwise, that would be the best place to advertise. Would you say that's where it is? I mean,
Yes,
besides
ma'am.
putting out the flyer and all the other things, the newspaper ad, social media got your attention.
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
Okay.
And Ty, I didn't mean, sorry, go ahead, Ms. Rule. You were saying something, Kobe? No? Oh, I thought you were saying something. No, I was just saying that's so interesting, Ms. Rule, because, we live in the world of social media. So if you ain't got a social media presence out there in today's world, you ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it. So it's so good to hear that, they heard about NTA through social media. Go ahead, Ms. Rule.
All right. So, Ms. Williams, what is one thing that you learned in the training that you didn't know before?
Well, there's various of things that I've learned thus far, I must say. but to brush up on a lot of things. Just working with others, no matter the diversity, the backgrounds we may come across, and just partnership, being able to understand another person's needs or wants and coping with them and being able to blend on the working field together.
All right. Awesome. And Miss Roll, the same question applies to you. What is one thing you learned?
Well, definitely, I have learned time management for once. That's something that I haven't been able to deal with well. But I'll also say working with others is one of the main things we've been focusing on. Because, like, in our class, it's full of different people with different personalities, and like basically, it was teaching us how to get along and how to work with people with different personalities, etc.
Oh, and I will say that is very, very important in the workplace. My God. And the patients, you pack them on as well. Mr. Cunningham, your mic is muted.
I'm so sorry. Thank you all for sharing that information. I was just going to say, Ms. Rule, those things are so needed, and I said that already. And I believe that the skills that they get in workforce prep, that should be ongoing. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you all would have gotten a booklet. I would advise you all, when you all start your job, take your booklet with you, put it in your desk so that you could remind yourself of some of the
Yes.
things, because sometimes you could get so comfortable on a job that these things just go out the window. You forget what it is you learned at NTA. You forget what Mr. Miller and Ms. Lockhart said to you, but it should be a constant reminder to you of how you should act and not act in the workplace. Now, this is a question I've been waiting to ask, because like I say, I see all of the exciting things happening in the session on Facebook. So I want to ask Miss Roll first. Kobe, I want to ask, what is one of your most memorable moments so far in the training?
Every day is a memorable moment. I can't really say which, because like if you look on our social media page, you'll see me up there playing dance, smiling. Like it's just, I guess, basically, like I can't even say, like, honestly, we have so much memorable moments. I can't say which, because every morning we always doing something that say, you know what, I can't even forget this. We can't top this, and then the next day it tops it.
What about you, Miss Williams?
Like Miss Kobe said, there's lots of memorable moments, but what I really enjoy is the interaction and the participation part when we get to go up and just put on a little act of what we possibly may be learning during the sessions to get a good understanding of what it is to expect on the job. So just basically doing the hands-on of what we have learned during those sessions.
That's awesome. So tell me, would you recommend other young persons to NTA?
Yes, ma'am. Highly would recommend. It's a good version of the Bahama host, but more hands-on, I would say. A good cleanup.
Okay. Would you, Miss Roll?
I definitely would recommend, especially to the young Bahamians in Grand Bahama. Like they got to feel like, hey, you have a chance. Well, you don't got to feel like we second just because we after Nassau. No offense, please. But yes, I would.
Definitely, I understand that. So what we try to encourage too, all of the trainees, go highlight your social media accounts. Go there and tell your friends, hey, listen, this is what's going on at NTA. Why don't y'all go and sign up and, go through the criteria process and etc. See if you'll be accepted. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but we do want trainees. And don't forget us now, because afterwards, we want to know about your progress. We want to know what's going on. We like to highlight, ask Mr. Cunningham, we like to highlight all of our trainees. Okay, all of them. We bring y'all back. Y'all make guest appearances. We give y'all gifts. We do all sorts of stuff. Okay, but we really try to get persons like yourself out there to bring in these young people, the ones that perhaps that we didn't get. We want y'all to bring us, so y'all act as ambassadors for NTA, and we really appreciate it. So, Miss Roll, tell me, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, hopefully I am furthering my education because I want to be one of the best project managers right here in the Bahamas.
Okay.
Awesome.
And Ms. Williams?
Well, in the next 5 years, I want to see myself furthering my education. This was the foundation of what I really needed and the push. So to further my education, to actually get my teacher's degree.
That is awesome stuff. That is awesome stuff. And those are the type of responses that we want. You know, again, it's a starting point. What you do with it from this moment on is up to you. But you took advantage of something that was offered to you, offered to young Bahamian people. You took advantage of it. And we just don't want you to just throw it by the wayside. Go there and use all of the skills, all of the everything that you've learned with us, and go there and then tell some other people, come learn something too.
Well, there you have it, folks. Listen, if you didn't know anything about what's happening in Grand Bahama at NTA, you know now. And I am so happy. This has been an awesome conversation that we have had this evening. And of course, I'm not going to close this live without giving Mr. Miller another opportunity just to share his heart with our viewing audience. But I just want to say thank you to all of you for taking this time out. And please, for those of you that are watching on Facebook and YouTube, continue to share this video with your family and friends, other persons that you know would be able to take advantage of what we are doing here at the National Training Agency. You can continue to watch this video even after this live is ended. You can continue to share it. But I'm going to just allow Mr. Miller just to share in a few seconds, one closing argument that he has for our audience today. Go ahead, Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. It would be remiss of us not to recognize our executive director, Mr. Terry Murray, and our executive chair, Ms. Agatha Marcel, and their confidence in the team here in Grand Bahama. It's been reverberated over and over again. We recognize that opportunity that has been extended to Grand Bahama. And I would like to say to every Grand Bahamian, the National Training Agency is here, it's active, and it's prepared to meet the needs of the workforce. We are here to undergird the necessary transformative training to provide the necessary people with the avenues to arise as entry-level employees and to one day become those who lead the charge in their respective workplaces. We are here. You could come to us upstairs in the NIB building on the second floor. We're adjacent to NIB compliance office. You could call us at 1242-351-6421 or 727-1418. We are here Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Come and see us. We are here to empower you. And today's live is a prime example that we are doing exactly that, providing transformative training and workforce preparation.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Well, thank you again. Thank you, Ms. Roll, for being my co-host today. Thank you again, Mr. Miller. Thank you, Ms. Sherelle Lockhart, Ms. Tiara Williams, Ms. Colby Roll. I know that you all are so busy. You all got so much excitement going over there. And don't worry, I still waiting on my boss to reply to my message because you know that transfer thing. But anyhow, that's another show. We can talk about that later. But I am so excited for what's happening in Grand Bahama, and I wish you all the best. Please, those again who are watching on Facebook and YouTube, continue to share this link. We will be back next week, same time, same platform. God bless you and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.